Hello and welcome to The Thrifty Author. I'm your host, Gail Z. Martin. And today I want to talk about what authors need to know, particularly new authors. I get asked this question a lot on blog tours and guest blogs and at conventions. Well, what do you wish you knew when you were starting out as an author? What do you think new authors need to know? And of course, the first key thing that I always say is never give up, because everything always takes longer than you think it will. The road is more complicated. There are more setbacks than you hope there will be. And it can get very easy to be discouraged and to have a trajectory in mind because that's what you've read about happening to somebody else, or that's how you think the world works. The world is constantly changing. Publishing is constantly changing. However you approach publishing, it's different every day. And so you really can't map that out in that kind of detail for yourself. You just have to keep slugging away until what you want finally happens for you. And so persistence is a huge piece of being an author. Sometimes persistence to the point of seeming almost obsessive about something. There's a joke about what do you call a persistent writer, and the answer is published. So that's very, very true. Most of us have our stories of slogging away, thinking it's never going to happen, nearly giving up multiple times, and then finally having that breakthrough where things start to fall into place, which can look different for every person, depending on what you want out of your writing. So, that's the quick and easy answer. But there are three key things I want to talk about today, very briefly, just to say that you really need to know if you are early in your career as an author, or you've always wanted to write and you're kind of getting your feet wet. Maybe you've got one or two works out there, but you want to do a lot more. The first is to learn the craft. There is a way of creating a manuscript that publishers and editors and agents and readers want to accept. And if you don't know the craft, the grammar, the spelling, how to put a sentence together, how to put a plot together, how to structure a book, those are all part of the craft of writing. And it definitely gets better with practice. The longer you write, the better you get at writing, but it's important to pay attention. And yes, read books about this. There are plenty of workshops out there. There are plenty of free resources talking about the craft of writing. You don't want to have a terrific story that gets sidelined because the reader was put off by typos. The reader was put off by grammar mistakes. The reader was kind of pushed out of the story because it wasn't clear, because the structure wasn't clear. So learn the craft of writing. Then learn the business of writing. Even if you're writing surely for your own satisfaction, as soon as it crosses into being something that you are putting out into the world as a product to be paid for, there are business aspects, there are tax aspects, there are the aspects of how to deal with publishing platforms like Amazon, like some of the others. There is a business piece of this. Even if you only write one book every few years, you need to know that, A, to keep yourself out of trouble, and B, to make things as easy on yourself as possible. You want to know these things up front and not have them sneak up behind you and cause you problems later on. And again, so many resources out there, free and paid, that you can read about the business of writing to know what you're getting into, and maybe make some decisions about how, knowing these things now, you want to make your book appear in the wild. So learn the business of writing as well as the craft, and then learn the tools. This is going to make your life so much easier in the long run. Whether it's the choice of word processing program, whether you're writing in Word or Pages or so many other different programs, Scrivener, Vellum, so many programs that can help you organize your work, save and archive your work, produce the manuscript and have it in a professional format, upload and format it for creation of ebooks and print books. There's there are a lot of programs out there that can help you create your best book. And it changes all the time. There are always new programs coming out. There are always new updates and new features, and plenty of review sites out there, as well as sites where authors talk about, well, what do you use and how has it worked for you, and what are the good sides and what are the downsides? There's no perfect program out there, but some are definitely better suited to some people's approach to work than others. So learn the craft, learn the business, and then learn the tools of writing. And the earlier in your writing career that you can do that, the easier everything will be for you, and the faster you may be able to get to where you want to go with your writing career. That's today's Thrifty Author message. I'm Gail Z. Martin, and I'll see you online.